Glad to have you join us on this edition of the show. The Internet of Things has been touted as one of those technologies that can help both individuals and organizations become more productive and effective. My guest on the show works in the IoT space and has a lot to share. We have much more lined up for you right after now. I am Chukwemeka Agbata, and this is Tech Trends.
Millennials' tech and global savvy will make them instrumental in shaping our mobile future worldwide. Nigeria is home to a number of tech talents with great potentials, and in Abia State, 24-year-old Solomon Okoha from Ohafia local government area is one of such trailblazers, building amazing things in the country.
How to hire this thing?
The young Nigerian is proffering his own solutions to the problem of electricity facing his immediate environment. Using locally sourced materials and crude oil as a powering source, Solomon creatively built a 35 kVA power station transformer for his community. According to Solomon, his inspiration to build the substation came from a dream he had.
God showed me this in the dream. Many things, many bodies look at materials. Then I wake up and I begin to go around the street, go around the houses and the many parts of the market to get the local materials. That is why I get these local materials, and God showed me how to fix it. Then I started fixing it, just like that.
Through the lights generated from the substation, residents of his community can charge their mobile phones, gadgets, and devices. With no training, Solomon says he spent a total of 6 months to create the power station, 3 months to source for the materials, and 3 months to build it.
What I need is training, scholarship in every part of the world. If I'm being trained to become a successful engineer, to become an engineer that knows how to build everything, then I'll be able to generate the light. I'll be able to build the machines. There's the machines that I see on the rail, but I can't build it out. I can't bring it out because I've never had training. If I have a training, then I will not bring it out. Show the world that what I have built, it will give them 24 hours light.
Earlier this year, Solomon Okoha had trended via a video posted on social media which showcased his innovation. The video caught the attention of the state governor, Dr. Okezie Ikpeazu, who awarded him a 5-year full scholarship to further his education. Solomon Okoha is one of the many creative Nigerians who have the skill set to proffer basic solutions to daily problems, and if groomed properly in an enabling environment will be of great benefit to the society.
Falling over obstacles on the street as your eyes are glued to your smartphone? This common problem for many smombies or smartphone zombies may be solved by wearing an extra eye to help alert users of objects ahead. This is according to a South Korean industrial designer. "28-year-old Paeng Min Wook has developed a robotic eyeball he has dubbed the third eye, which obsessive mobile phone users can strap to their foreheads so they can browse injury-free on the go. The device, part of an artwork Paeng has called Phono Sapiens, opens its translucent eyelid whenever it senses the user's head has been lowered to look at a smartphone. When the user comes within 1 or 2 meters of an obstacle, the device beeps to warn of the impending danger.
The gyro sensor on the device can detect when a user bends his or her neck and that causes the eyelid to open. This black component that looks like a pupil is an ultrasonic sensor which can detect obstacles ahead and warn the user with a beeping sound.
South Korea, which has the world's highest smartphone penetration rate, has some of the highest road fatality and injury rates among developed countries. Pyong's demonstration of the device in Seoul garnered attention from passers-by.
This is the look of future mankind with three eyes, as we cannot take our eyes off from our smartphones. I think the extra eye will be needed in the future. By representing this as the future look of humans, I want to warn the modern folks, especially those who are addicted to using their smartphone.
However, he said the third eye is not a solution for smartphone addicts and people must not be too reliant on this device. Instead, he hoped by presenting this satirical solution, people will recognize the severity of their gadget addiction.
I thought he looks like an alien with an eye on his forehead. These days, many young people can get into accidents while using their mobile phones. This would be good for them.
An Egyptian engineer has designed smart glasses that translate voice and text to sign language, appearing on the lenses in real time for the hearing impaired.
Hi, my name is Omar.
Hi, my name is Omar is a voice command that a prototype pair of eyeglasses has been designed to translate into sign language in an effort to develop a tool for the hearing impaired. A small camera fixed on the device picks up on voice signals from the speaker and using artificial intelligence is able to translate it in real time into sign language for the wearer on a small built-in screen. Built to appear around 50 centimeters away from the eyes so as not to disrupt vision, the small lens aims to facilitate two-way communication between those who cannot hear and those who do not know sign language. Omar Abdel Salam based the design on a few products available in the United States, but which to him still have limited capabilities.
هي فكرتها إن الأصم بيلبسها ولما حد بيجي يتكلم معاه.
The idea is for a hearing impaired person to wear them, and when someone speaks to them, they can press a button which then translates people's voices to sign language, which appears on a screen in front of the eye.
بيشوف الصورة دي أكنها على بعد فوق ال 50 سم من عين.
Secondly, when the user uses sign language, through sensors, the glasses will be able to translate this into speech, allowing the other person to hear what they are saying. If the user wants to read something, all the user has to do is push another button, and through sensors, the glasses can translate the text into sign language.
Similarly, if the user wants to read a book, the glasses use augmented reality to capture the image on the page and again translate it into sign language. Over the past 6 years, Abdel Salam's design has developed from merely a mobile application to what is available today, but limited resources means the prototype is handmade and not ready for production.
طورنا النظارة ابتداء من في خلال 6 سنين دول بدأناها بأبليكيشن على الموبايل مرورا ب9 نماذج.
During the past 6 years, I've developed the glasses from a mobile application to various models until the one you see today that translates English voice and text to sign language, but only a limited number of signs. In order for me to reach my final product, I need to translate Arabic and colloquial Arabic. I need to embed all dictionaries into the glasses because sign language differs from country to another and even from one governorate to another.
ودوائر احنا اللي مصنعينها تبقى حاجه برودكت نهائي فعلا.
Abdel Salam also says that his design can translate limited speech and sign language and only understands English voice commands.
The glasses are great, and I'm very happy with them because I believe that it can help us and allow us to communicate with a lot of people. As a specialist in sign language, I can see that the glasses sign language is correct, and it will help many of those who have hearing impairment.
The 26-year-old engineering student hopes his invention can one day hit the market and improve the lives of those who need them the most.
How to recover deleted files. If you have ever accidentally deleted a file or deleted the contents of a file, you know that it can be incredibly frustrating. Fortunately, deleting a file may not be the end of the world. In fact, in many cases, the file is hiding in the recycle bin and can be easily retrieved. Look in the recycle bin. Just double-click on the recycle bin or trash can and you can see everything that's inside. Did you find what you thought you had deleted? Simply drag it back onto your desktop and you're good to go. If it's not in your trash can, then there are a number of other things you can try to recover a deleted file. Hopefully, you have been doing backups. If so, you can recover an earlier version of your file through the recovery service in Backup. Here's how to recover deleted files using file history. If you're not doing backups, hopefully you have turned on File History Backup. If you're running Windows 10, select the Start button, select Settings, Update and Security, Backup, Add a drive, and then choose an external drive or network location for your backups. To restore that important missing file or folder, type Restore Files in the search box on the taskbar, and then select Restore Your File with File History. Look for the file you need, then use the arrows to see all its versions. When you find the version you want, select Restore to save it in its original location. To save it in a different place, press and hold or right-click Restore. Select Restore to and then choose a new location. No backups? Another possibility to consider: if you email the file to anyone, if you saved a copy on a cloud-based service like Dropbox, iCloud, or SkyDrive, if so, you might be able to grab a copy from there. However you approach it, there are lots of options to explore after you realize you have accidentally deleted a photo, document, spreadsheet, report, or other file. And get those backups going too, so next time you need to find a deleted file, you have more options.
Coming up is my chat with Cesar Keluro, founder, Nanocentric Technologies. Stay with us.
Alexa, I'm home.
How much easier or interesting would things be if you could get all your devices or home appliances working just by talking to them? Well, this emerging reality is called the Internet of Things. The Internet of Things, IoT, is a catch-all term for the growing number of electronics that aren't traditional computing devices, but are connected to the Internet to send data, receive instructions, or both. With the concept of Internet of Things, we are increasingly getting used to connecting everyday devices in our homes to the Internet and to each other to make the places we live and work more comfortable economical and safe. This week's guest, Cesar Keluro, founder of Nanocentric Technologies, discusses how economies can benefit from IoT.
Cesar, glad to have you on Tech Trends today.
Yeah, nice meeting you, CFA. It's been a while.
Awesome. So tell us, what is IoT?
Okay, IoT is a sensor network of smart devices, that enables people, application systems to collect and share data. It's one of the most amazing technologies of those times, enable us to capture data and, deploying that data to improve business outcomes. It's something inspiring, having given us the privilege to make access to out of reach places to enable us to gather sensitive data and deploy that data for business process automation and to drive profitable outcomes for businesses. It's an amazing time to explore this technology, having realized that we are privileged to be deploying sensitive applications, enabling us to drive conversations around how do we improve business process and how do we transform our pain points into data forms that improves collective business decisions making.
Yes, I mean, you said a lot of things, right? But okay, let's look at some of the use cases of IoT. How can IoT be beneficial?
Okay, one of the experiences we've had in our conversation with our partner is this. We realized that the Dangote refinery, a greenfield project, we realized that such kind of project, should utilize digitalization. And when I mean digitalization, it's easy for you to build or for you to embed IoT into refineries of that sort because it's greenfield. So you can begin to build from ground as you're building the whole physical infrastructure. You can create a digital twin, enabling you to, to collect what they call predictive insight on how to improve maintenance, either periodically or set in certain forms, in order to, capture the whole process of the refinery itself and to, create better outcomes for business decision making. And the case in point is how we, plant IoT devices, IoT sensor devices to capture different parameters or different data points that we want to, grasp of so we can understand the whole way the refinery works for optimization purposes.
Okay, so you mentioned, that of a big business, but I'm just also wondering, how about the startups, the SMEs, the small businesses? What are some of the use cases for them?
Okay, regarding small businesses, we can look at inventory management itself, having some sort of IoT devices, in your inventory store can give you live stream about the state of things, the state of your inventory. At what level are they now? Are we seeing a decline in certain number of goods? Are we seeing an upsurge in an uptick in certain kind of products you're selling in the marketplace? We get to find out around how we can optimize what we have in the store. And the fact is, with data, you can do an amazing thing.
One of the things that I sort of wonder about is how would you describe the IoT industry in Nigeria? Is it growing? Is it stagnant? Is it still at the infancy stage? What would you say?
Okay, at this point in time, we're seeing a lot of upsurge in consumer IoTs, and that's what we call wearables. Having streams of data about your fitness state. We're seeing a lot of information around that, a lot of applications in that space itself. People have a lot of IoT devices on them, helping them to look at the state of their bodies. And that's the consumer IoT space itself. We've seen an upsurge in that area. But the transformation we're seeing in the market is the deployment of industrial IoT, which is an exciting field in its own. We consider consumer IoT to be overhyped because we're not looking at solving real problems. The shift in conversation is taking us to industrial IoT, which basically addresses industry concern and basically improves economic outcomes for peoples.
Yeah. Okay. You talked about industrial IoT and the like. So now, I mean, educate us more. But I'm thinking about is, what percentage in a typical IoT project, for example, what percentage of the materials, the tools are sourced locally, and what percentage is imported? The reason why I ask this is just to know the local content component in any IoT project, so to speak. What are your take?
Sadly, in our market, we've not seen the kind of progress we expect, and that's because we have a gap. We have the talent gap, and also building hardware. It's one of the most difficult thing about IoT itself. You can easily itinerate around softwares, but hardware demands a lot of itinerations, a lot of piloting, and that's quite tough for a market like ours that is still growing. I can tell you that we do not have the capacity to build hardware solutions at this moment in time, but I can tell you that we have skilled hands who can build IoT software applications, and at the same time too, the key challenge is for us to begin to look at how do we domicile the building of hardware itself, and that's we hope to see as we build the necessary infrastructure to drive the next phase of this technology.
Okay, thanks for being honest in that question. I also get to worry about what we can do to ensure that we bring more hardware innovations and keep them in the country. But one of the articles I read that you published that sort of followed this interview was the one around the LPG industry. Just share a bit about that.
Okay, right now in our market, LPG is dominated by roadside sellers who constitute 30 to 40% of the distribution channel. They dominate the distribution channel to the end users. The conversation I had with the client was, we understand you do those things, you do research around technology, your partners build IoT applications and other technology solutions. We want to build the next generation infrastructure to deliver LPG to residential areas. And we started having that conversation, and we realized that some of the cylinders in the market are 5 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old cylinders in the market. And one of the issues we have in our market is leakages of cylinders, which basically exposes people to fire outbreaks, explosions, and all that. But what the IoT device sensors have been able to do is to capture that data, enabling us to have insights around usage, enabling us to address leakages, enabling us to peg usage at certain points, 10%, 50%, that streams that data, enables us to look at how do we, meet that end consumer's need, or in some virulent cases, how do we aggregate certain consumers and deploy LPGs to them efficiently. And that's, became a very fantastic use case. And over time, what we realized is this is doable. And, we ended up, start working on this thing, and it's been exciting. And suddenly we saw Newbank Energy in the market doing the same thing, and it got us excited. And what I would say now in these times, these are amazing times to deploy IoT solutions. But the key factor is we need to narrow it down to specific use cases. We need to be narrowed as to what pain points we're addressing. That's key to the success of IoT deployment.
Okay, finally, Caesar, tell me the sort of challenges that you are facing and how you intend to ensure that this industry becomes commercialized, if I may use that word.
Okay, I would like to see regulations around IoT platforms. The bulk of this data, it's ferried overseas, and we would like to begin to see how government applies certain data regulation rules in our market. We'd like to domicile data in our market. We'd like to begin to see conversations around specific use cases for, like the LPG we're seeing that, that is raising a lot of dust around how we can efficiently bring LPG to end users. I would like to see beyond regulations, I would like to see government's commitment to enable us have, hardware development capacity itself. And maybe certain parameters of the devices can be locally built, because we do not really need to depend on China for everything. We can begin to build capacity by, first of all, training our local workforce, upgrading our local workforce, so we can begin to domicile this technology in-house and begin to innovate in that regard.
Caesar, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, C.A. Agbata. Nice to meet you again.
As you've heard from the founder of Nanosecond Technologies, Caesar Keluro, IoT can bring about immense benefits to some sectors of the economy. However, what matters to a lot of Africans is the direct impact such emerging technologies can have on their daily lives and existence. Interesting to see how much of an impact IoT can make in Africa. That's our show for today. Remember, we live on social media at Tech Trends TV. You can watch these and previous editions of the show on Channels TV, YouTube, or cfablog.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.